Good morning. Thank you very much for introducing me and inviting me to talk about this very important topic this morning. I am Angela Leung from the School of Nursing, the Hong Kong Polytechnic University. My topic today is about assistive technology for dementia caregivers, the challenges and the opportunities. When we talk about assistive technologies, I think we should pay attention to the recipients of this technology. Um, the focus of this talk is about the caregivers who take care of the persons with dementia. As we all know, most of the people with dementia, they are staying at home, and so they are supported by their family caregivers. As a matter of fact, caregivers experience a lot of stress while they are providing their caregiving tasks to the clients. So they may experience adverse physical and psychosocial conditions such as insomnia, depression, and social isolation. Caregivers therefore would need some help from us. Perhaps technology could be one of the ways to help them. Actually, they look for some interventions that could be more flexible in terms of the time, and that could be tailor-made for to meet their needs, because caregivers actually are facing 24-hour work for their caregiving tasks. So that's why they are very busy in some way. So they need something that is tailor-made for them. Technology basically can serve some of these purposes, and they can be used every day, and this could provide some help to the caregivers. So when we talk about technology, it is not limited to very high-tech stuff like the machine or the devices, but actually we are talking something that could be very simple, that could be used every day. All this technology could include as simple as a telephone, mobile app, and some devices that can be worn by the caregivers while they are working, these kind of things. So we have to think about some innovations when we talk about the technology, and hopefully this technology can help them to provide a comfortable environment and safe environment for them to live in. Here I would like to share 3 projects with you. These projects are basically using some kind of technology to help the caregivers, and this technology has been developed and has been tested for some level, and I would just like to share some of the initial findings with you here. The first one is about sensor-based stress monitoring and alleviating system. The second one is the e-painting mobile app, and the third one is the stress alleviating mobile application for the caregivers. I call it SATMAC. The sensor-based stress monitoring and alleviating system is developed because we found that many of the caregivers, they are experiencing a lot of stress, but they would not like to seek help at all. They will hide up themselves, and so at the far end, actually, they are having so much burden that they may not be able to tolerate anymore, and that would be very dangerous. So that's why, because of all the unfortunate events that we have found out in relation to the severe stress experienced by the caregivers, so we decided to work out a system, hopefully that can help out the caregivers to show their stress, but not proactively by themselves, but we would be able to monitor their situations and even think about that how we can help them to alleviate their stress. So this system is still under development, but I think this one is good in a way that it is serving 2 purposes. One is stress monitoring, and the other is the stress alleviating. For stress monitoring, we hope to use some objective measures so that it is more reliable, and at the same time it does not rely on the caregivers to report to us. But on the other hand, we actually help out the caregivers to understand about their stress level by themselves. So for the objective measures, we are using some biomarkers like the electrodermal activity. That means whether there is some changes in the electron changes while they are having excitement. So the EDA and the change in the heart rate, as well as the interbit interval, the IBI. Sometimes when the person is under stress, the skin temperature will be changed as well. So we also monitor the skin temperature of the clients when the person is under stress. We also allow the caregivers to report by themselves. So there is a button on this device so that by the time when they have stress, they can press the button and indicate that they are actually admitted that they are actually under stress. So for the stress alleviating part, we are still developing. We want to find out the occasions where the caregivers are having stress. So by the time when we detect it, we hope to give some options for the caregivers to choose. For example, we would like to send a message to them to comfort them, to reassure them, and praise the work that they have done for the care recipients, and at the same time reinforce that what they have done for the care recipients, they are really doing a good job. If possible, we hope that we can select some recording for them, for example, some music that they like, so as to alleviate their stress for the time being. So this system has been patented, and development stage. So you can see that the device is a bit bulky at the moment because we are still testing it, and but having said it is a bulky one, and yet it is working quite well because it can capture all those biomarkers that's just now I mentioned, and it can actually differentiate from people when they are getting excited but not stressed, or walking or lying down. This is the good things about this device. And sometimes the temperature of the environment would change as well. So the change of the environment would not affect the test, would not affect the recordings of this device. So you can see here the device, and they can wear it on their wrist, and they can be released at a time when they are not tested. But you can see that from the iPad that it can show the figures instantly, and the figures can be uploaded to the cloud, and so as to capture all the immediate recordings by the time when the caregivers are wearing this device. So we have tests in the laboratory that we found out that there are several components that can contribute to the calculation of the stress level. That include the EDA, the heart rate, and the IBI. We have to calculate the weighting among the three as well. It turns out that some of the weighting is higher than the others. So you can see that by the time when we calculate the weighting, we actually calculated EDA more, and then heart rate and the IBI is a little bit less. But we have to calculate the three components together so as to find the best representation of the stress level. We confirm that actually the heart rate and the IBI still needs some more investigation. But the EDA is obviously the components that can reflect stress. With our experiments, actually, we can divide the stress level into 5 levels from 0 to 4. And we actually verify the results with saliva cortisol. And the saliva cortisol, actually, the results is very good because it actually shows that when a person is under stress, the saliva cortisol will be shoot up. And you can see the pattern is a little bit higher over here. But be mindful that actually saliva cortisol does not shows immediately. This is 30 minutes behind the stress level. So by the time when we verify the data, actually we take the readings 30 minutes before the saliva cortisols as the stress level. The second project that I want to share is about the e-painting mobile app. This app is developed because we have consulted the caregivers, and actually they say they would like something to help them so that they could be at home, and by the time when they are free, they would like to do something to relieve their stress. So that's why we are thinking about that, offering an app so that they can draw their painting by themselves and at the time when they are convenient. So the concept here is like let them do some artwork by themselves. So at the same time, we would like to see that the app basically can offer some information and support to the caregivers. So you can see that in the app here we have several features that is basically allow them to draw their own painting and then upload the painting and share it with other people. And at the same time they have a chat room, and so that they can communicate with the peers, and at the same time they would be able to receive some information from the organizers, and if necessary they could also test and assess their mood and let themselves know about their current situations in their psychological well-being. By the time when we work on this study, we use mixed method to prepare for the development of this intervention, as well as preliminary assess the efficacy of this mobile app. So from the quantitative perspective, actually we have conducted a pre-test and post-test survey. And for the qualitative part, actually we have conducted 2 types of focus group interviews. The first batch is before the development of the app, and the second batch is after the use of the app. For the outcome measures in the quantitative components, we have several outcomes. The primary outcome is the caregiver stress level, and the secondary outcomes are the self-rated health status, the depressive symptoms, and the instrumental and emotional social support. We assume that after using this app, the stress level of the caregivers will be reduced, and that there is some improvement in their self-rated health, and their depressive symptoms will be reduced, and they will feel more instrumental and emotional social support that they can receive after the intervention. So before the development of the app, actually we have consulted the caregivers, because we believe that only getting what they want, then the intervention, the app would be the best app for them. So we asked them that what kind of features do they expect to have. So we have invited 22 caregivers to talk to us. And actually they have highlighted several key features that they really want to have. For example, the announcement. they really want to see that they can have some updated information from the mobile app. Just like the WhatsApp, that they can have it instantly, and then the message could be pop up by the time when they make such an announcement. And they also like to see that the app could be helpful so that they can draw their own paintings at the time when they are free. So I think to them it's very important because they expect something to do when they are free, and there is no pressure on that. So that's why when they say, okay, that would be a good idea if they can do the painting by themselves at any time that they like. So they would like this kind of app. They actually feel that sometimes they would be very sad. So if painting can help to relieve some of their emotion, I think to them that is a very good idea. And they also mentioned that they would like to talk to people, but sometimes when they are ready to talk, it's already the midnight. So by the time when we develop the app, actually they suggest us to have features so that they can communicate with other caregivers, so that they can share the experience and share about the clues, how to take care of the person with dementia, and how to get resources in the community to support them. So this kind of communication among the caregivers would be very valuable to them. So with that, we actually developed the features according to the suggestions. As you can see that there are 5 key features in the app. That is painting, let them paint by themselves, do their own drawing, and let them share their pictures. And there's an announcement area that they can get information, and there's a chat room for them to communicate with other people. And the last one is the mood self-assessment, and that is something that we add into that because we feel that if they can have more self-awareness about their mood, then that would lead them to think about that they would do anything to control and to modify their mood if necessary. So that's why the 5 features, the 5 key features are here. We consider that having the app, just give them the app, is not very meaningful. We must develop some activities for them. So that's why we encourage them to use the e-painting app for 8 weeks and to see whether they really like to use the app for 8 weeks. And some of the caregivers actually suggest us to give them some topics so that they can do the painting according to the topics. So that's why with the consultation with the caregivers, actually we put up 8 topics for them. Each week we would show the topic, and then everyone would draw the painting according to the topic, and then they could discuss and share and talk about all they have, or in that we can show the paintings to other people. Initially we think about that the topic should be related to the dementia caregiving, but somehow the caregivers actually told us that that would be too boring. So that's why we decided to go for some generic topics for their paintings. So here you can see that the chat room is very simple. They can use both English and Chinese to do the messaging, and they can draw the painting with their fingers, or if their mobile phone allow them to use the stylus, they can use the stylus. But the use of the app is very simple. But we will show them. Actually, we have a workshop to show them how to use the app before they really go back to use the app for 8 weeks. So everybody will come along to the community center, and we will download the app together, and we will test out how to use your finger to draw painting in your mobile phone. And when they are satisfied, then they can use the app for 8 weeks, which is free of charge. So these are the examples of those paintings. And on the left hand side, you can see that the painting is all about going to Japan to look at the flowers. This is drawn by a lady. Her husband has dementia, and her husband is a Japanese, and but the wife is a Chinese. So they actually really enjoy going back to Japan to look at the flowers. So to them, this is something that is a very memorable place. So that's why when we have a topic talking about a place that you want to go when you are free, they immediately think about the Japan and what they did there in Japan. So this kind of topics really make the caregivers relax, because they really think about some enjoyment that they had by the time when they are together. The second painting on the right, which is a bit sad, you can see tears on the painting. And here we just want to ask the caregivers to draw a plant that they like. But you can see that the plant that they like does not look very good here. And it turns out that the caregivers indicated that she was a bit sad by the time when she thought about the plant that she likes. So you can see that this is a kind of expression of their emotion as well here by the time when they do the painting. I think this is a very good channel for them, for the caregivers, to express their happiness, their sadness, their emotion. And this could be a very personalized activities. The paintings that they made could be kept by themselves, but not for sharing out. But for this one, they really this caregiver did not mind to share the painting with us, and the painting is a very good illustration that it is a kind of channel for them to express their emotion. So here in the photo, in the graph, that you can see that actually the caregivers do use the ePainting app, which is a bit surprise to me. In the very initial stage, by the time when we designed this app, we are not very sure whether the caregivers are willing to use the ePainting app or not. Some people say yes, some people say no. Because some caregivers actually mentioned that they're too busy to do anything, including drawing the painting. But by the time when we tested out with 32 people here, we found that actually they do use the ePainting app, and they use it is not one time or two times, but you can see there are multiple times, and they use it for many times. And although we say that you can use the app for 8 weeks, and after 8 weeks basically they continue to use it, and they continue to log into the app, and actually sometimes they draw paintings, sometimes they share the paintings, and sometimes they actually just catch up with each other and look at the updated information. So actually we appreciate that the caregivers actually like the use of this ePainting. When we look at when they use the app, it is interesting. We found that some people actually use it in the midnight, and some people use it quite early in the morning, 7 a.m. And most people actually use it in the middle of the day, in the afternoon, like 3 to 5 p.m. So with that information, actually we can see that caregivers basically they would need some intervention that could be all-rounded, 24-hour a day, so that they can feel free to use the intervention at any time that is convenient to them. So this data is reflecting that electronic app actually be quite helpful because it can be used by the caregivers at any time that they like. So looking at the preliminary efficacy, we try to test out what would be the changes of the caregiver burdens, the self-rated health, the depressive symptoms, as well as the instrumental and emotional social support, this kind of changes before and after the intervention. As this is a pilot RCT, we didn't, it's a pilot test, so we didn't actually have a very large sample size. We only have 32. And actually we don't have a control group as well. So you can see that the changes is before and after the intervention, so it's a one group comparison. So I can hardly say that it is really showing the efficacy. So but preliminary, it can give us some insight that there are changes in the burden as well as in other outcomes. But surprisingly, the burdens was increased a little bit here after the intervention. We do not know why the caregivers actually have more burden after the use of the intervention. Maybe this just happened, or maybe it's just because that technology is still somehow a bit stressful to them. So we need more data and more investigations in the future to check out the real efficacy of this intervention. So we have published the findings of this e-painting app in the International Journal, and you are welcome to read more about the details. The next step for us is now is to work out a full-scale RCT. The good things about that, what we have done in the past year, is that we are sure that caregivers actually like the use of the e-painting platform, and they found that it is acceptable, and they feel that this is possible for them to use it. It's not that difficult. Okay, the last project that I can show to you is about this SAMAT, the stress alleviating mobile app for the caregivers. And we try to tailor-make some key functions for the caregivers. This project is funded by the PolyU and the Karolinski Institute Collaborative Fund, and we work very closely with the Swedish research team. And because both Hong Kong and Sweden have similar issues, is that we also have caregivers who are very stressful. So that's why we would like to work together and check out what we can provide to them. So the app here is a bit more complicated than the one that I've just mentioned. Yet it has more features. It has some features that is actually asked by the caregivers. For example, we asked the caregivers what do they want to have. Actually, they mentioned that they would like to have features that is user-friendly and that is convenient to use, and they will be able to communicate with the professionals other than communicating with the caregivers. And they like some features that can help them to release some of the stress, and of course they like update information and some techniques that they can help them to solve some problems in their daily lives, and of course some educational materials about dementia. So the objectives of this study is to explore the caregivers' views on the potential usefulness of the app, to identify caregivers' preference of the features of the app, and to develop a tailor-made mobile app for the caregivers and develop the user manual as well. So, what do the caregivers consider as a useful app? So, ask them qualitatively. So the caregivers, we ask them, um, what do you think? What kind of features do you think that is very important for them? So they actually highlight that if we have an app for the caregivers, they think that the app would be very helpful for those people who are living alone, and they are providing support to people with early dementia. Because the app could provide them with information as well as let them communicate with the health professionals. Some other caregivers actually say that they like to seek help from others, but it is very hard to start with. And if there's an app, they could ask questions at any time, and they could actually talk to people and get advice from the other people, and that would be very helpful for them to improve their caregiving skills. And at the same time, they think that it is very important to provide continuous support to the caregivers. That is, the support should not be stopped. So it could be, the support could be provided at any time. So that's why they would like this kind of technology to help them. Some caregivers actually cite an example that what happens if my mother just get lost? She has dementia. If she get lost, I don't know what to do. But I think if there's an app, I can post up her photos and share the photos with everyone, and then they can help me to find my mother. So this is the ideal situations that they think that the app could be a channel for them to take care of the person with dementia. Some other caregivers actually say that the apps should be as simple as possible so that it is not difficult for them to learn how to use it. So it is very crucial for them to know about which icon is representing what, and so that they can use the app immediately after the development. At the same time, they would like to get some experience from others as well. So letting them to communicate with other caregivers would be good, because they can share the experience and get to know the possible behavior of the person with dementia in advance, so that they can do some preparation. I think that is the peer learning, that is letting the caregivers to learn from their peers. So it sounds that the caregivers actually expect that the app could do something to help them to improve their caregiving work. Some other caregivers actually mentioned that this app could be a tool for public education, as the caregivers are in their middle age, and they are taking care of the older parents and who has dementia. They sort of feeling frustrated because some of the family members do not understand about them, and they feel that if my son and daughter could understand why and what I'm doing, I think that would be good. So considering the next generation has been using a lot of technology, they believe that the app could be a channel for them to communicate with the young generation, so as to make them understand about the stress and the work that was done by the caregivers. And for the general public, they feel that many of the people in the society do not understand dementia. So it would be good if we can have this kind of mobile app, so that for those people who are not knowledgeable about dementia, they can get information about dementia and get to know that this is everyone's business. It's not just one or two caregivers' issue. It is in the whole society that we should think about how to support the patients with dementia as well as their caregiver. For the general public, they feel that they do not know much about dementia. So by the time when they have done something, they don't want to explain. But at the same time, if there is such an app, they hope that this app could be used so as to give more information to the general public. So what kind of features do caregivers prefer to have? They indicated clearly that they would like to communicate with the professionals because they consider professionals could give them a very concrete and useful advice and information about dementia. So that's why they consider this app could be a good channel to connect them with the healthcare professionals. And at the same time, they would like to know about the community resources. If they know about which organizations in the community are providing support to dementia, they would love to go and get some advice from them as well. Other than approaching the professionals, they also mentioned that it is crucial for them to communicate among themselves. Like those people who are using the e-painting app, actually they feel that learning from the peers are very important. So that's why they are sharing the experience, and at the same time they can get to know what happened in advance so as to prepare for the change of the stages of dementia. They also like to get updated information. So the app can be updated all the time. So for whoever used the app, they can read what was posted up in the app, and we do not need to repeat the message again. But at the same time, it would be nice if they can have some interaction with each other, so as to make some exchange. For example, they cite some possible cases like that. They have a wheelchair and they want to borrow a wheelchair from the others, and that would be the features that they would like to see in the app. For stress alleviating purpose, they think that if there are some methods that can allow them to stay away from the caregiving work for the time being, and that would be very good for them. So they suggest that we can put up some methods so as to teach them how to relieve their pressure, and they hope that they can still provide care to the person with dementia, but at the same time to be less stressful. So based on all this information, we developed our segment. The segment is really tailor-made for the users. So you can see here the features is very simple. You can see there is assessment. The blue one is assessment, so that the clients can the caregivers can actually assess their mood, and then there is a calendar for them to record the important days and events, and there's an announcement which is a blackboard like, and then there's a features which we specially add on that because some of the caregivers actually mentioned that they would like to do some diary, and this kind of diary could be a stressful event, it could be a happy event, so they would like to put down the events that they have every week so as to do some memory about what they did in the last week as well. So in the lower part of the app, actually it is showing some other features. So for the stressful events and the happy events, we encourage them to do the recording here. They can use English and Chinese to do the recording. So for group chat, okay, so you can see at the bottom of the app, there is a group here for them to have a discussion, and so they can chat with each other. And at the same time, they can share their experience and get to know about the resources being provided in the community. And at the same time, there's a FAQ, the frequent question and answer, so that they can get to know more about dementia. And there is a section that is for teaching them how to relax by themselves, do some relaxation exercise. So we use mindfulness to let them learn about how to do mindfulness. Okay, so here you can see that they are sharing the information among the caregivers. So the experience sharing is very important. And you can see that we have find all those local resources that is about the support to dementia in Hong Kong. Then they can click on the link and get the relevant information. For example, where do they get the information from the government, Department of Health? How do they get information from the hospital authority? And is there any way that they can read some video? And we even put up some video link for them. So for the relaxation, actually we think about the mindfulness is a good way. So we recommend them to follow the YouTube that was created by Liu Life. Liu Life is a mental health organization in Hong Kong. It has developed a series of videos to let everybody learn how to do mindfulness. This one we hyperlink the videos made by Liu Life so that the caregivers could learn how to do the video, do the mindfulness by themselves. So you can see that the SAMAT app is really good in a way that it allows the caregivers to monitor their self-health, at the same time communicates with other people, including the professionals. And at the same time, they will be able to mark down the important dates in the calendar and the pleasant and stressful events as well. They also have a forum for them to discuss issues. From the researcher's perspective, we are at the back end. We are providing support to the caregivers. We want to help the caregivers to find answers at the time when they need it. So the research team actually have a mental health nurse in it, and just in case the caregivers really need some help for mental health support, we are able to provide it to them. So in summary, I have highlighted the use of assistive technologies that we use for supporting family caregivers who are taking care of the people with dementia. I think this is just a start of the whole journey, and I've shown to you that sensor-based device that is a portable device that can quickly detect the stress. This is still in development. I think that this tool actually could be further developed so that it can be really bring in more help to the caregivers. For the e-painting mobile app, I think again this is a very important production. Preliminary, we found that it is acceptable and visible. So the next step is that we want to check out whether this e-painting app can really help the caregivers to relieve their stress and burden. At the same time, we have developed an app for supporting the caregivers. The app is, you can see that it's made co-created with the caregivers. So that's why the features are very much tailor-made for them, and that's and these features are those features that they really like it. So by the time when they use it, they feel that okay, this is really what we want. So I think the good things about co-creation here is that the interventions developed is for the clients, and we count on their preference and the needs that they have. The next step is to test more with the efficacy of this technology, and we need a full-scale RCT for that. So the project was funded by different sources. Thank you for all the fundings, and I have a lot of collaborators in Hong Kong, and I have to take this opportunity to thank them to support all the studies that we have in dementia care. So I welcome your suggestions and comments. Thank you very much.